Hello, this is Brother Ron Cindia from the Apostolic Holiness Church, and today's August 28th, 2025. And I'm going to attempt to cobble together a video, and we're going to call it the golf ball affair. So I'm going to start and stop this probably frequent times because I'm not very good at this. So we're going to do the best we can. So we're going to pause it for a minute. Now we're viewing my backyard, if you will. My backyard basically is a golf course. You see the fence. Beyond the fence, there is a golf course. And hundreds of people come through here and golf. Golfers just about every day. Any kind of weather, they're out here golfing. Well, as a result of the golfing that they do, many golf balls end up in my yard, and I have to gather them and collect them, when I cut the grass to get them out of the yard, or just picking them up like a kid picks up Easter eggs, and I save them just for kicks. And I end up actually putting them in a 5-gallon water bottle right there. As you see, there's a water bottle there, and I save the golf balls just for kicks. People come by and it's a conversation piece. They like to say, well, wow, all those golf balls. And we get a lot of them over here. So we've been here 4 years. So I've collected quite a few golf balls. And in the process of that time, my wife has taken probably 3 of the more colorful balls. They come in different colors. She got 3 that she really liked. And she put them on the windowsill above the kitchen sink. And they were up there roly-poly, and I told her, you know what, I'm going to get a dab of silicone, and I'm going to silicone those balls up there so they don't roll off. So I had a plan to get some silicone and silicone those balls up there. And so I'm going to shut this off and pick it up in the basement. So now I'm in the basement, and as you can see, I have a caulking gun with silicone in it, basically. And I started to try to use the silicone to glue the golf balls, but the silicone wasn't working. The gun was clogged up, and in the process of doing that, I just began to think, this is not a good plan. It's not going to work that well. So I began to think and meditate on how to do this little piece of work for her, her little favorite golf balls on the windowsill. And I'm down here, and thoughts begin to come, ideas and concepts begin to come to my mind as I'm down here trying to figure out how to do this. And so, to make a long story short, came up with the idea of using a floor plank. Let's see, we turn this around. You've got these wooden linoleum floor planks that people put down on their floors. I've got several of them here at the house. And so I decided I was going to use this and cut it to a dimension that would fit the windowsill. And like I say, this is an ongoing project. It's just things rolling in my mind, and things are just coming to my mind very easily on how to accomplish this. So I went upstairs and measured the windowsill. It was 42 inches long, 2 inches wide. So I ended up cutting a strip out 2 inches wide, 42 inches long. Then I had to decide on how I was going to attach the golf balls to the strip, if you will, and they're still going to roll around, they're not going to be stable, they're going to roll around. So I had to come up with a concept to hold them. So I'm what you call a pack rat. I save everything. So I do have a container of plastic pieces and parts of junk that I have held on to throughout the years. It's just stuff that I, you know, go to, and I can, forgive my camera work, it's pretty lousy, but I can put things together with this. Well, anyway, I have, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. Well, these two particular items right here, I find in the junk plastic container. And I'm looking at them, and they're actually the perfect thing to use for this project, if you will. If you notice, they hold these golf balls perfectly. Look at that. So, in this container, I have a hodgepodge of these little plastic things, which I have saved for probably 20 years, 2 decades. It's little pieces, they're little plastic grommets that were in a packaging of something that came here, some type of protective packaging, and I've saved these things for a ridiculous amount of time, like I save everything. So I'm looking through this container, trying to figure out, you know, do I have enough of these things to make this work? So I know they're going to, you know, once I get the plank cut and these things in place and get the spacing right and everything, that I'll be able to make this work. So then I decide, well, I got to figure out how many I'm going to need, because I don't know how many are in this container. I don't know how many I have. They've just been in my way and in that container for 20 years. And I said to myself many times, I ought to just throw these away. I have no use for them. Well, anyway, so I dump the container out, and I fish out every single one of these things. And I do some math on the 42 inches by 2 inches and decide that mathematically I'm going to need 25 of these. 25 of these to get these golf balls aligned on her window seal. So I took them all out of the container, put them on the table here, and I started counting them. And I said, boy, if I come up short, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I began to count them. I counted them out, and guess what? Guess how many I had? You're right, 25. I had 25 of those exactly. Now, while I'm doing this project, I am having a sense of being guided and helped by God. I don't know how to explain that. I mean, things usually just don't work that easily and work that smoothly, but this was going from a dumb old caulking gun and a bead of caulking, gluing them to the windowsill, to making a nice wooden plank with these little grommets that are going to hold these balls in place. So, man, I had an idea. This is going to work. But I had to have 25 of those. And lo and behold, I had 25. So as you see, I have 2 of them left. So when I got down to actually doing the cutting and the gluing, the actual application of it, I needed only 23. I needed 23 of these, and I equally spaced them for the golf balls and glued them on here and took them upstairs to my wife. So, you know, and the whole time I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, this is odd. The whole project, I felt like I was being guided and helped with this crazy little project from where it started and where it ended up. So we're going to pick this up upstairs in the kitchen. So now, as you see, I'm going to turn the camera sideways. There's our golf ball collection, a little rack that I made, and 23 golf balls. I had given my wife the colored golf balls, put the rack up there, and said, put them up there, you know, and however it suits you. And she giggled, thought I was half crazy, but she mounted those golf balls up there. And you can count them, there's 23 of them there. Originally thought numerically I would need 25, but the actual application was 23. So we have 23 pretty colored golf balls there. All right. So now I'm back outside, and so I did this project, and put the golf balls up there. And I told my wife at the time, I said, this was strange. I said, I felt like the Lord helped me do this, and I was being guided to do it. Like I said, it was ideas and concepts that were coming to my mind. I had no idea the way I was going to accomplish this project when I went down. I thought I was going to get some silicone caulking and glue the balls, but it gravitated to this plank, cutting it to dimension, measuring it, finding these plastic grommets that had been with me for 2 decades. I had no idea what I was going to do with them. Put the whole thing together. It worked out perfectly. And she put up the golf balls, 23. Initially, thought I needed 25. I had exactly 25 in my junk box, and then ended up using 23. So, I made the comment to her, there's something special about this project. I felt the Lord working with me. So the next day I'm on YouTube, watching YouTube, and I begin to watch these flood of videos that people are posting about the rapture. Something that I don't really deal with that often because I'm not that well versed in prophecy and stuff like that. I kind of stay away from it because it's confusing to me, and it seems like no one can really come up with definitive answers. Everybody has a different take on it. But anyway, I'm watching these videos and beginning to find out that these people are calling September 2025, September 23rd, as the rapture, the return of the church. And I'm a little thick, but the light bulb came on in my head. Oh my God, that's 23 golf balls, golf ball affair that I have on the kitchen, above the kitchen sink. And I thought, you know what? I felt God was involved with this. The miraculous. I mean, and you could say, well, it's just serious consequences or coincidences. That's the word I was looking for. Coincidences. The 25 grommets I needed. I had exactly that many, and when I went to apply them, it ended up being 23. Well, it's a series of coincidences. But these people are broadcasting about their dreams, their visions, and this information that the Lord's giving them about this definitive period of time during the Feast of Trumpets, the Jewish Feast of Trumpets, Rosh Hashanah, I think they call it. Theoretically, it starts the 22nd and goes to the 24th. And most of them are saying 23rd is the day of the rapture. Well, you can wrestle and fuss with that all you want, but I believe that the Lord has given me a tell or a hint that what they're saying is true. So I'm not here to convince you that you absolutely have to believe this, but I think for a true believer, it's good to tighten up our spiritual lives any chance we get. And even if September comes and goes and there is no rapture, by tightening up our spiritual game, it's all to our benefit. So I'm saying that the 23rd is a very interesting day at this point. And I assure this is subject to, you saying, just coincidence, it's just another nut. But I have prayed and asked the Lord for another confirmation of this being Him and being true. And if I do get that confirmation from the Lord, I'll be making another video about this and trying to be more definitive about what's going to happen. So that's my story. You can throw it in the bin of all the rest of the stories. People all over the world are having what they're claiming are visions and dreams and tells that the Lord is letting them know that this is a significant period of time at the end of September, particularly September 23. So this is the golf ball affair. I'm just adding my voice to many other voices. So we'll see what happens. God bless, and we'll see how it goes. In Jesus' name, amen.